Welcome or welcome back to Sapling Tarot. My name is Imogen. Today we are going into my deck uninventory. So I keep a running list of all of the decks that are in my inventory. I have the current ones, I have the ones that are kind of on the chopping block, but I also keep a list of the decks that I've had but no longer have. Just a very roundabout way of explaining that today I'm going to be talking about the decks that are no longer in my collection. Here is the list, some of which you will recognise if you watched my decks on the chopping block video that I made, I don't know, a couple of months ago, which I got a comment on recently asking if any of them were still around, and I realised that no, none of them are still around. That was these ones. I think they were all gone. I've either sold them or given them to people. So yeah, so I thought that I would do a little bit of a breakdown of the decks that I have had at one point but no longer have. Wow, I'm making just word salad today. I won't talk about the ones that I talked about in that chopping block video because I think the reasons that I got rid of them are already in that, and also that would be quite a long video. I mean, how many? I'm going to talk about 7 decks, basically. Mostly tarot, 2 oracle. So I'll get into it because wow, am I just having rambly day. So the first deck on the list, I don't think this is in chronological order, I think this is in alphabetical order, which makes 0 sense, but we'll start with the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, and I feel like this is one of these decks that I've wanted for ages, and I got it from Vinted, got it with like the nice little pouch and stuff, it was very cute, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, in my hands, this is not at all what I wanted. I think the colours make me so happy and I really enjoy the art style, but there was just something in it that just didn't speak to me at all. I feel like this is one of these decks, this was the thought I started but didn't finish, that I may well end up just yo-yoing back and forth on. Like, I can imagine myself like picking it back up from Vinted if I see it for like, I don't know, a £5 or something, but I need to stay strong and remember that when I had it in my hands it gave me nothing. These warm, rich, vibrant colours look so good in photos, but just didn't speak to me, I suppose is what I'm kind of driving at. I think like there were enough, like it's Smithwaite based, I think, but there were enough things that were sort of like a bit wonky where it was just like, I really like the art and the artist, but I don't know how tarot-y the artist is. So like, yeah, like the 3 of Pentacles, what, like so many of these I don't really understand what it's like trying to say, and not in a kind of like, oh, what an interesting point of view kind of way, but in a just, it kind of got a bit like muddy. I was looking at Bannabelle's review blog post for it, and yeah, I really like the art, I like it so much, but it's just not, it's not for me, and I need to like remind myself that it's just like not for me, so I need to stop looking at it. Another fun weird deck that I got from Vinted, I think, that was on my wish list like pretty much from when it came out. I think it was the name Alchemy sounded like right up my street. I like the weird kind of like sort of mixed media looking artwork. But then I got it in my hand and it's quite, there's stuff about the Fae, and I don't know if it was like, if this person is American or what. Does it say anything about Katie Jane Wright? I don't know, they could be English as well, but Song of the Stones, cast connect with that sounds great. This is not why we're here. This is categorically not why we're here. Anyway, basically, I grew up with Irish family. Irish and Scottish family. I'm fucking terrified of the Fae. Like, so there were these things where there was like, in a couple of the cards, there were these like secret golden keys hidden in the imagery. And it was like, if you spotted one, then it was something to do with like a connection to the Fae. And I was like, that is not like soft and fluffy and gentle to me. Yeah, there we go. So there were these like little kind of goldy bronze keys hidden in the thing, and that's just like not what I'm after. I know people work with the Fae, I know, people venerate the Fae and all that kind of stuff. I find the Fae really scary. I was raised on Irish folk tales and like myths and legends and stuff, and the fairies will fuck you up. Like, it was supposed to be, like an invitation to the Fae or something, and I was just like, I don't want that. Like, the Fae are very, very cool and like really interesting and stuff, but like I'm not here inviting them into my house, thank you. I'm also like not a huge crystal-y person anymore. I think they're really beautiful, and I think the artwork is really stunning, and I love the herby stuff. I think some of the keywords weren't really my vibe, I guess, but like mostly it was the Fae thing, the idea that these were, I don't know how likely that is, that just some random oracle deck is accidentally going to invite the Fae into my house, but it was enough for me to be like, I'm alright, thank you. Also, the moment I had it in my hands, I had this like really, really strong image of a person in my life who I was just like, this is perfect for them. This is so good. Which sounds really bad now that I was just like, get this fucking thing away from me. Oh, I want to give it to this person. But it made so much sense for them. And I don't know if they like believe in the Fae or have any, I don't think they have any of my baggage about that. So I was really thrilled to get to just like give it to them, and they really like it and they still use it, and it's all good. Do we have any pictures of this? No. Songs of the Stones. Stones and the Spirit of the Earth. This sounds great, and it's coming out for my birthday next year. Do we have any more information? Oh, private browser. No, I suppose we're like more than 6 months away from it coming out, so why would there be any pictures? But I will keep an eye on it, as long as there's no like little magical things inviting the fucking Fae. Right, next one. The El Tarot deck, Millennial Loteria edition. I really wanted to like this. I got it again from Vinted. These all things like secondhand, I don't know. I really like this artist's artwork and their Loteria cards. I don't know how one would work with Loteria cards. It's not anything that is remotely in my culture. So when I saw this, I thought it was a bit fun. But it's a pip deck, and I did not see this. Okay, I did not see this when I bought it. I saw this mermaid on a broom, and I loved it. I love the moon card. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Love that. Arguably considered keeping the deck for that card alone, which is ridiculous. Yeah, the Bitcoin suit. I'm okay, thank you. No, I'm like a cuspy millennial, depending on where people draw the line. I'm either a millennial or a very, very old Gen Z. I think probably like life experience wise, I'm probably more of a millennial, so like I accept that about myself. But oh wow, I mean, Bitcoins, that aged really well, didn't it? And then there's like, what's the Fool is like a guy with a VR headset, and it was just like I knew it was going to be cringe, but like I didn't know how cringe it was going to be. And some of the things are like cool and interesting, and some of them make no sense. And it just, I don't know, the whole thing was just a bit like lost on me, which was a real shame because, like I say, fucking love this moon card. And there were a couple of other ones that I think I ended up like taking pictures of before I moved it on to somebody else because I just really, really like them. But yeah, generally speaking, it just wasn't my thing. The Good Karma Tarot deck, what a cute deck. Like a great beginner's thing. Really lovely, quite kind of like you know, like All a Kylie, that like kind of sort of 70s-esque retro colour palette. Really nice, but like with a kind of modern contemporary twist on it. This was the deck where I realised that that's not so much my thing. It was very Smithwaite, but make it modern, give the people tattoos. I think I remember noticing that it was the same tattoo. So it was like, oh, what can we do to make these people look more like interesting and edgy? We're just gonna like copy paste the same tattoo onto like 6 people. Yeah, so like you see these roses on the King of Swords, and then it's like the same rose on the Seven of Cups. And you know, like if that had been some sort of really clever like interweaving of imagery, then that would have been amazing, but it wasn't. It was just like no. But yeah, and so it was like it was Smithwaite inspired. It's by Kerry Ward, who I think is a very well respected tarot person for like magazines and stuff. I think she's the person who wrote the Cardless Tarot book that's come out recently that I think is like really interesting. So like obviously, you know, she knows her stuff, but what the market or what publishers think the market is there for is like the most beginnery of beginners things. And so like this was what that was. And it wasn't for me. I think it would be super fun. It's the kind of deck that I would buy for someone who was like wanting to get into tarot maybe, but that was coming at it from quite like a normie perspective. Does that sound weird? So like if you're coming at it from like a psychological perspective, I probably wouldn't give you this one. If you were coming at it from like a really witchy perspective, I probably wouldn't go for this one. If you're coming at it from a really spiritual perspective, I probably wouldn't get you this one. But if you were just like kind of a regular person that just thought it sounded like a little bit fun, I think this would be the one. But yeah, not super duper like for me. I think this is like one of the first tarot decks that I gave to somebody else. I thought there would be pictures. Okay, so there's more than one deck called the Harmony Tarot, apparently. I had this one, and it's its whole own thing. It bears no resemblance to any tarot system that I'm aware of. It has its own complete major arcana. It's a pip deck, and like each suit is a season and it's just like growing plants. So it's like a bush of peonies with more peonies in every card. Yeah, that you can see it there. Or like bluebells with like another bell on each one. And I don't know, it just wasn't like, I think I got it when like I wanted to get into tarot more broadly, and like it wasn't that. It's like, I suppose it's kind of a bit like a tarot oracle hybrid in that way that it doesn't really rely on the tarot system, but at the same time it's not really an oracle because it's a pip deck. I don't know. It's really pretty. The artwork is really lovely. I know that Harmony Nice is like more down the kind of the Wiccan route thing, I think. And so I can't remember if it like involved any of that or if this was before she kind of took that route. Yeah, there's the Harmonious Tarot, there's another Harmony Tarot, there's all of these things that aren't what I'm on about. But it was really pretty, it just didn't really work for what I was after at the time. And again, it was the kind of thing that I opened it up and I was just like, oh, I immediately know who this is for. And I was like thrilled to be able to give it to them. The Herbal Astrology Oracle. So I bought this on a whim and I arguably paid too much for it because it was a mass market deck, but I bought it from like an indie bookshop. And so I think I paid like fully full whack, which, you know, isn't my usual. Isn't like, I usually try and like find things either on sale or secondhand or that kind of stuff. So I think maybe my expectations were a little bit higher for it, and I got it quite soon after it came out. Does that sound right? Yeah, probably like Yule-ish time, 2022. So like pretty soon after it came out. It's really pretty. I was kind of at the beginning of my herbalism studies, and I thought it would help with that, and it didn't. I sort of thought it would be more useful because I was like bringing together, or I was trying to improve my astrology knowledge and my herbalism knowledge at the same time, and it just didn't really do what I wanted it to. I think in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have got rid of it so like reflexively. Again, I think this is probably one of these ones that may well come back into my collection at some point if I see it secondhand. I think it's really beautiful, and I think the book is, I remember the book being pretty good. Yeah, I know it came out in a mini fairly recently. I don't know, I'm kind of in two minds about this because I remember why I didn't super connect with it. I don't know if that would be the same now that I have completed a lot of herbalism studies. So like if I got this at the tail end of 2022, it is now, you know, 2/3 of the way through 2024. 2023 I did a lot of herbalism study, and I've done a fair bit this year as well. And so if I approached it from that perspective, and astrology in fairness, so if I approached it from where I am now, maybe things would be a bit different. I don't know, because I got the Herb Crafters Tarot in that time as well, and so I feel like together they would be lovely. I don't know, jury's still out on this one. I quite like reflexively just like put it up on Vinted when I realised it wasn't what I wanted it to be. And I don't know if maybe I should have like held fire on that one. And then the final one is the Witch's Wisdom Tarot, which again, it's like, it's a little bit of, it suffers from that thing of like, I got it before I knew what I liked. I'm sorry, it's the 16th major arcana, love. Are you joking? Oh, I never clocked that, that's really funny. I really liked the suits in this, but just some of the majors, yeah, no, I couldn't get on with. Yeah, like the courts were nice. I think it was just the majors that I didn't get on with. And again, like, I think it's just, no, little badger. I don't, yeah, it's just like, it's not my thing. I can appreciate it. I really like it. I like the animals. I think at this point I was like, no animal decks at all, and that has changed. But like, it's just not, I suppose, where I approach tarot from. Again, this may be one that comes back around, but I probably need to like not let that happen, because it's not for me. I can really appreciate it and like how beautiful it is. I don't think I'd use it again. And I really hate some of the majors. Like, okay, hate is a really strong word. I feel like a really intense like repulsion to some of the majors. I just don't like it. It's all a little bit like positive washed for me. Oh, it's so pretty though. It's so lovely. Witch of the Fire. It's really cool. It's really nice. I need to like not get swayed by it. Which seems to be like, I didn't think that was the mood I was in. I really didn't. But apparently this has been talking myself out of repurchasing decks that I've already had and got rid of video. So that's super fun. But yeah, I used to live near a white horse like that. Yeah, it doesn't speak to me. It's not for me. I can appreciate it. I can think it's really beautiful and still know that it's not for me. And I think that's the thing that I've got much better at discerning in the last few years of dabbling in like more tarot decks and more tarot systems and stuff, is I'm getting better at figuring out what things I think are beautiful and would work for me, and the things that I think are beautiful and aren't for me, you know? I hope that makes sense. I don't know how long I've been talking, but this feels like it was a quick video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you have any decks that you got rid of that you're really pleased you got rid of? Do you have any decks you got rid of that you aren't pleased you got rid of? Do you have any of these yo-yo decks that like you buy, you sell, you buy, you sell, you buy, you sell? Because I know a handful of people who have that with a couple of decks, and it's like that on again, off again partner or something, and it's not necessarily the healthiest. I'm being silly and flippant. Anyway, thank you so much for watching / listening to me. If you enjoyed this, you could give the video a like. You could even consider subscribing if that feels good to you. I hope you're taking really good care of yourself, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!